we gotta have a talk, right? So, one day I was just, scrolling on my phone, you feel me? Just looking at, just on IG. And I seen two 18-year-olds died in a car crash. And I was like, dang. I'm always in the car with my mom. She's always yelling at these youngsters, these young boys, young girls, teenagers, and she always yelling at these old heads. So I was like, what's the number one cause of death of teenagers in the U.S.? I looked it up. It says the leading cause of death for teenagers in the United States is accidents, with motor vehicles crashes being the most common type of accidents. I'm 17 years old, right? I drive, I don't want people to, be in danger when I'm on the road. And I want people to be in danger when there's other kids on the road. Teenagers on the road. So I just wanted to really come on here and talk to y'all about, the safety of driving. It's just being, safe on the road. Just being, just being aware of everything. And just really how to get your permit test. How to pass your permit test. So, because I don't want, drivers that don't know how to really drive on the road, just causing accidents, hurting other people. So, I put on my little polo today to show you how serious this is. I do got my permit. I really just wanted to give you guys a few tips on how to pass your permit test. If you're nervous about it, if you don't know how to study for it, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to study for your permit test so you don't, cause any fatal accidents. This video is targeted mostly, maybe 15-year-olds to 17-year-olds, because you don't really need to take your permit test when you're 18. But, I'll show you how to get 100% on your permit test today. You feel me? But for step one, you guys, we can't drive like our parents. We cannot drive like if you see your parent driving and you wondering, they're speeding, they're not really, looking around, being visual. That's because they've been driving for probably 20 years. Your parents are pretty old. Your parents are some old heads, so they've been driving for a long time. They're really experienced. But if your parents are a really good driver and you're watching them and you're being really observant of what they do, how they abide by the laws, how they look at signs, then you should really, look at them to, take tips from them, ask them on, why they're doing that, why they're doing this. But, when starting out, you can't like jump from a rookie until a pro. You know what I mean? You can't jump from a rookie spot to the pro spot. You gotta work from the rookie spot, work your way up, and then you could drive like a pro. But you still gotta be safe while driving like a pro. The same way you gotta be safe when you're driving like a rookie. But maybe take tips from your parents if they're actually good drivers and actually abide by, just stay law and just be aware of how they drive. You know what I mean? But I got second step. Study. Study for the test. It's a guide online. You can look up permit test, and you can look up the stateyourin.com, and it'll show up, the state permit test. You can study for about 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. Just make sure you get that study in, and that's really gonna help you pass the test. That's the main thing you should do. But the third step I got is just, when you're riding with your mom, your pops, your guardian, just be vigilant while you're in the passenger seat. Just look outside. Just look at signs. Look at look at road signs. Look at stop. Just look at anything you can see out there. Look at every road sign. Look at stoplights. Just look at road work, construction work, everything. Because you're gonna eventually start to ask your parents what this means, what that means. You know what I mean? So and they're gonna tell you. I hope they tell you, but they're gonna tell you what that means, and you're gonna you're going to start to know why cars do that, why cars do this, and you're going to start to get a better experience. You're going to be ahead of the game. You feel me? That's probably one of the biggest. I think studying is one of the biggest steps, and focus on just road signs is the biggest steps. You know what I mean? But for my fourth step, I got, learn your state laws. You know what I mean? Look up your state laws online. Just learn, what you can do, what you can't do, and you should honestly. You should be good after that. After you just do a lot of studying, find your state laws, Just, figure out what vehicle you can drive on the road, what vehicle is road legal in your state, and just figure out what your state wants you to do, what they don't want you to do, and you should pass with flying colors. So step 1, don't drive like your parents unless your parents are a really good driver. Step 2, study your study guide. Step 3, focus on road signs, focus on construction work, focus on anything that's on the road while your parents are driving. Step 4, learn the state laws. And for the 5th final step, learn from your parents' mistakes, please. Like, that's the biggest lesson anybody could teach you, is just learning from your parents' mistakes and just doing what they didn't do, doing what they're teaching you not to do. You know what I mean? So just learn from your parents' mistakes is the last one. And so, yeah, I just don't want you guys to cause any fatalities on the road. I want people to actually trust you out in the car with you, not having to look around every second, not having to strap their seatbelt on super fast, holding on their seatbelt, not having to know if they're going to, make it past the next day. You know what I mean? But, I just want you guys to be pro drivers like me one day, you feel me? But it's Jamari Bandele with the Damn Podcast. Out.